Alright, I'm in Kenya, Nairobi, and what better place to begin my journey other than on Plainview Road, and that was River Bank Estate Phase 1 where I started. Anyway, this is going to be an awesome trek, and I'll take you across the southern and central part of Nairobi. We are walking from the residential estates of South B and then South C and into the aviation and academic hub, and finally into the administrative and historical heart of the city. So along the way we will share a little bit of history with you, and as such, bear with me because this is supposed to be a 2-hour journey, so I most likely will cut it into short segments of about 30 minutes, and be sure to watch all of them if you're to enjoy this trek. Anyway, right now I'm on Plainview Road, and this Plainview Road will go on ahead to meet Aoko Road and then Mwangeka Road, and just that in about a few minutes as we head. So for now, let me cross the street and walk on this other side. It's actually a hot afternoon here in Kenya, East Africa. Very hot in that I feel like being black, I'm absorbing all the melanin, all the ultraviolet light there is by virtue of having melanin on me. Anyway, we are soon meeting a junction, and this Plainview Road is a bit interesting. These are actually residential suburbs, and we can see these makeshift retail shops, I think, to cater for the needs of the people living here. Kenya has kind of embraced estates. Now there's a church there, and it's the Church of Uganda, ACK, I don't know what that stands for, but St. Veronica Church. I didn't know Protestants were using a lot of the same things, but anyway, we have left Oko Road, and we are taking on this Mwangeka Road, and this should allow us to go past the railway training institution. Anyway, the Plainview Road and Mwangeka Road are part of the 1970s middle class expansion. Mwangeka Road honors the Taita hero Mwangeka Wamaloa, who resisted British rule in the 1890s. It is actually a very commendable task that Kenya remembers its history. And imagine this gentleman tried to resist them in the 1870s. That is very, very intriguing. But anyway, let's just walk, and I'll show you the entrance to the Kenya Railway Training Institute, which gets me excited every time I walk this route, so you'll bear with me. I may occasionally turn my cameras a bit sporadically to kind of look behind as I cross these streets, and maybe to show you a few details along these streets. And right now we are on Mwangeka Road, so we plan to meet Sore Road in the distance, more of a continuation of this road. So it is a delight that I am your guide on this 4th afternoon in East Africa, Uganda. I have actually enjoyed my stay in Kenya. It is a calm place, as long as you blend in and you don't stick out like a sore thumb. But no one has hurled any insults at me, well, because I'm black and I look the same. I see a signpost right there that is pointing you towards the railway training institution, but that is its main entrance, the main gate. It's a beauty, except that I don't think you'll be able to read the words inscribed on it from this far. And this Railway Training Institute was established in 1956 by the East African Railway and Harbours Administration, and was built to train the workforce of the Lunatic Line, aka the Kenya-Uganda Railway, and it remains one of the oldest specialized training institutions in the region: Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, basically East Africa. And let's just enjoy this Mwangeka Road. These stones, I saw them yesterday, and it looks to me like something, a derivative of limestone, but it looks like a sedimentary clay deposit. I don't know how much salt it's used for making cement, but I don't know where they are mined from. And actually, if you've been in Kenya long, you'll notice that most of their buildings tend to have blocks for construction. And if you look at this perimeter wall of the Kenya Railway Training Institution there, blocks look to be machine cut, so I think cut from rocks and then put in place. As a contrast, you can see concrete blocks or masonry construction units on this other side. I think they are being superseded by stone cuttings because the newer walls seems to have this. And there's also a trend around here where buildings are not plastered. Yes, for the perimeter walls I can understand, but you will notice soon that a great number of buildings are not plastered. Someone kind of told me it's a sign that a building is most likely in a low income neighborhood. And I keep seeing cars parked here. I don't know whether these are positioning themselves as car hailing services, because most of these areas have estates, and estates at times require that you have cars, and the cars are mostly owned by the middle class. And let me take this pedestrian walkway, and you will soon appreciate that Kenya has very wide streets. That is in comparison with Uganda, and gives me the vibe that it's probably more planned. Interesting tree, a thorn tree, usually a shrub, but grown very high. And Mwangeka Road, this is the stretch, so bear with me. I worry that my camera may overheat up in this afternoon sunshine, and therefore making it hard for me to record increasingly long videos, but I'll try my best, even if it means to sit occasionally and let it cool down. And I think I'll have to find myself buying a bit of a cold drink off the streets to do much. Oh, this right here is actually a primary school whose name I seem to have forgotten, but let me see if I will be able to get it for you quickly. Actually, I bypassed its signpost somewhere there, but this one, this school, and it is in connection with this, but this had something to do with Plainview. Now let's go and meet the signpost right there. Perhaps it will do a better job of telling us where we are. And already in the distance, you can see apartments, and I've noticed Kenyans are big on apartments. I think that was encouraged by the housing estates that allowed people to be more agreeable to group living, shared spaces. What I do not know is whether the communities in these estates actually bond together. Now I'm seeing here Plainview Academy, kindergarten, primary, and junior secondary. AIC, Africa Inland Church, founded 1895. Wow. Does anyone of you know African Inland Church? And at the bottom of the sign it says committed to reaching the lost and edifying the believers in the South B and beyond. So if you hadn't noticed, we are in South B, so we will be taking you as far as South C. Apparently, these areas mark the southern parts of Nairobi, Kenya. And I was telling you about no plastering on buildings. The building to the left seems to just have exposed masonry, but there's been an attempt to paint it. Whereas the one on the right has seen plastering, mostly on the top parts, and I think probably as more of a design statement than a necessity. So I feel like it's a cheap way of constructing. Finishes actually consume a lot of resources. The amount of cement you need for plastering, I think, would be better used in other places. But I hate it that the frames are not designed to look like the very bricks that partition the walls. And I believe I have joined Surrey Road, if I'm not mistaken. Let's trek together. Motor spa. I didn't know where cars are washed are also spas. I have always known it to be for people and beauty. And yes, thank you for being with me, and welcome to Surrey Road. Welcome to Surrey Road. I do not know much about Surrey Road, but I think I'll give you a little bit of what I know about it when we meet Kapiti Road. This is going to curve towards the right, and then it should rejoin or join onto Kapiti Road. And yes, interesting. So these streets, if you notice, are becoming a little more and more organized, with a few, almost very little of the shanty structures. And yep, to let. To let means, I think, it's to be rented, something like that. And yeah, more into apartments. So we are still in residential suburbs. I think as cities see more people migrating into them, it's almost inevitable that apartments become the de facto form of accommodation. And you can see the number of high rises. The only thing that intrigues me now, if we look at that building right there, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 floors without a lift and living on the last floor. I can only imagine the
sitter configuration. But because these are high stream, you don't get to control these things manually, okay? You actually do them using a button. So like this one, I can, let me leave that one down. Let me leave that one down. Let me take this one down. So I press this one, it goes down electronically. Okay? Go, Buwana, go. See? It drops the thing, it's down. Let me leave that one. Get to control these things, configuration. You now get a 7-seater configuration. But because these are high stream, you don't get to control these things manually, okay? You actually do them using a button. So like this one, I can, let me leave that one down. Let me leave that one down. Let me take this one down. So I press this one, it goes down electronically. Okay? Go, Buwana, go. See? It drops the thing itself and it goes down, which is very nice, very beautiful. Oh, there is some, okay, there is some obstacle there. So that's why it's not going all the way flat. But you get the point. Let me bring her back so that we can talk about practicality and the space that you get. Now, if this third row seat is up, what you get here, believe me, is 120 liters of boot space. And when the second row seats goes down, you get 620 liters of practical boot space. And when the second row of seats goes down, you get 1,833 liters of practical boot space. And we need to do it. I believe this is the cover for the once you fold this thing out, it's official. Let me do this. I need to demonstrate. It's important that we do it.
It's a species. I think buffalo,
There you go.
cow,
620,
something
right?
like that.
Let me drop the second row of
so it
seats.
would be Guinness. More of the Lantana Camara. It's a beautiful.
And it goes
Okay.
flat.
The lady wanted to view in my
Alright.
view. Thank you. Kenya.
See
Polo
that?
Road.
Now, boys and girls,
Okay.
that's what we call 1,833 liters of practical boot space.
Boma, Nairobi.
And not only can you raise
Boma, Nairobi.
and lower the third row
I think
seats
Boma
from
is
the
normal.
rear,
In my
you can
side
actually do it
head,
from the side as
I
well.
suppose the
So in case you want to
person
approach from the side and you feel you want to drop the third row of seats,
St.
you know,
Louis
Prado has
School,
made it possible to give
Kindergarten,
you
primary, and junior.
access
I
on
think
one side.
most of
It is
the
not
schools,
on the
yeah.
other side, unfortunately. Prado, what are you guys doing?
All
Are we cool?
levels of
Perfect.
education
Of
for
course, you
high
get your
school,
normal hooks
and
to
therefore
hang all your things
one
here in
could
case you want. You get a 100-watt socket
study
here for
one
your laptop
school
in case
the
you want to
entire
power it. You get
Boma
extra anchor
International
points.
Hospital
And then,
College.
most importantly, you also get your tools, which are
Yes, Road.
located conveniently for you. So you open that,
We are
see,
now
you get
in
your cassette of tools Apple. And this one also, we open. Yeah, this is where you get your jack and those other paraphernalia. Part of the defining things again that you get on the Kakadu is a speaker system. Okay, it is only unique to the Kakadu for you to get a proper 14 speaker JBL sound system, which is premium. And here is your subwoofer. Iko hapa nyuma hapa hivi. Okay, so you have a big, huge speaker here again. Just make sure even the guys on the third row seats are enjoying the music. Those guys who ask, hii inaweza kugonga? Yeah, you can actually lock it. See? So there's unlock and lock. So you lock like that. It cannot move. It stays like that. Okay? And then once you want to, you can now unlock it. Then you can close. Now, last time, we did a review of the Hilux. And I told you the Hilux can actually tow 3,500 kgs braked. Okay? Now, this one can tow 3,000 or 3 tons. I don't know why this tows less. But the beauty of everything is the reason why you have active air suspension, because I need us to look at what is under the hood, but one reason why you have active air suspension on the rear of the Kakadu, just hear this, Toyota are so geniuses. It's because in case you are loaded here with luggage and you are still towing, it is very important for you to keep the ride height at the appropriate level. And you can only control that using air suspension, because if you had other conventional suspension here, if you're carrying heavy things or you're towing, ikikaa chini ni hivo. Okay? But the good thing with air suspension is because it has height sensors. Once you load, the car will recalibrate itself and pump in more air into the air bellows to raise that car and keep it at the standard level. So that when you look at this car, it's like it's not towing, neither is it carrying anything. That's the beauty of having active air suspension. Let's look at what is under the hood, because again, hapo ndo tena kuna tofauti kidogo, and why I believe again this car is so much superior in comparison to those two other cars. So part of the unique thing about the Kakadu over something like the TZG, because TZG, you need to understand the territory where these cars are being manufactured. When you talk about Australia, Australia is the home of extreme off-road. Like, guys who live in Australia ni kama wanaishi planet ingine. Those guys will drive those cars to wherever. You get? So every car that is designed to go off-road from that side has been done so with extreme mindset. And one of those things that comes standard on the Kakadu, believe me, is this plate here. See this plate that is covering the front of the sump and the sump guard as well? Hii inakuja standard. This is not something that you get on most TZGs. It is an option or an aftermarket addition on the TZGs. Even though I must agree that the VXLs will also get this one, okay? Because again, Africa, you know, we are home of rough terrain. But coming back to what is under the hood, from 2020, you only get one engine option if you're buying a Kakadu from Australia, and that is the 1GD, 2,800cc diesel plant with a variable geometry turbo, meaning power is delivered awesomely. But unlike the review we did of the Hilux, hapa modification haijafanyika ile ya cooling the air. Unlike the Hilux, we still have an intercooler. If you come closely, Mr. Camera, you will see we have a charge pipe. Okay, this here is a charge pipe, so there are always two. So this one is a charge pipe that goes to the intercooler, and the other one is on the other side, so it's a loop. Okay, and that means that we still have an intercooler based at the front because they want you to actually actively drive this car. And the engine is still in the same configuration we had, unlike what we have on the Hilux, which is very interesting. But the good thing is the power has been bumped up just like what we had on the Hilux. We are pushing 201 horses and 500 Newton meters of torque, of course, up from 174 and 450 Newton meters of torque, which makes this car a proper off-road stroke on-road machine. Beautiful. Now, something else that you might see that is different from what you get if you buy yourself the TZG is you do not see a blue thing here called AdBlue. Okay, it is supposed to be around here. So this again, just like the VXL, doesn't.
Yes.
Welcome, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, moms and dads, to another special episode on Conversations Kanisa. I hope your Sunday is getting on well. And today, I need us to have a logical conversation, head to head, against this car. And you're going to compete with this car directly is... Welcome, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, moms and dads, to another special episode on Conversations Kanisa. I hope your Sunday is getting on well. And today, I need us to have a logical conversation around the car that we are reviewing today, which is the 2019, the last of its edition, Mitsubishi Pajero. Back to me. Now, here's the logic. The car that competes with this car directly is your Toyota Prado, be it the TZG, be it the TXL, be it anything, the VXL. That's what you go head to head against this car. And you're going to spend, wait for it, if you're getting the VXL, 10 million Kenya shillings. If you're getting the TZG, 9 million Kenya shillings. If you get this other one, you're playing between 7 and 8. Now here is where it gets a bit complicated and interesting. You're going to spend 5.7 million Kenya shillings to buy this 2019 last of its design Pajero or Mitsubishi Pajero. Now the question is that a logical decision or is it mere false cultism? Let's get into this interesting review.
I'm actually speaking sound into my phone through the microphone. My mic is in the right place. I think it hasn't. But yes. I think you can say signpost in the distance telling you now it's Popo Road. Then I was butchered.
Again, as always, a big shout out and thank you to KDG Imports opposite Prestige along Ngong Road and the guys who made it possible to have this special review on Conversation Kanisa. Ukimbia pale ukutana jamaa kona kitambi anaitwa Ibra ana smile namna hii, he'll give you an awesome deal on any other car away from this Pajero. And so, let's get into this review because interestingly, that is something that you can't take away from the Pajero. And that is merely down to the fact that it was built right, either if you're getting the petrol diesel plant, it has one of the most capable 4x4 systems, which I'll talk about later on in the review. But first, in case you're planning to buy yourself a special unit of the last edition of the Pajero, which is called the final edition, I need you to know that they only created 700 intertwined into one, all the way from 206. This car will look like this until the last year, which is 2019 for the Japanese market. Even though it has had 3 facelifts, the last one being 2015, which is what you are looking at here. And part of the few things that were brought to life in the 2015 facelift is of course the headlight. So you have your daylight running strips here, which are LED. You have your fog lights here. If I was the one driving this car, I'll put amber. You know, I'll change the color so I can see better. And then you have your HID. And I'll talk to you about that later. Carrying for your adventure. Then you have your normal.
Let's come back to
this is Euro 5.
Since it's what we are working on. we finished Polo Road
and off-road. Sawa sawa? You have this screen here.
From here.
I've never been a big fan of modified cars. They're more expensive, yet often can be less well made than standard cars. What's that? And they often break when I drag race them. But am I talking absolute nonsense? Have I become out of touch with modern car culture and what's cool and what's not? I've come to Dubai, to the most famous car modifiers in the world, Mansouri, to see if they can prove me wrong with their outrageous collection of modified cars. But I'm not going to hold back. If I don't like something, I'll say it to their face. What a load of rubbish. This could get awkward. At the end, I'm going to tell you the total cost of all the cars in this showroom, and I'm going to give you the comparison value of what it would be if they were just standard models. The difference will blow your mind. I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching Car Wow.
And as such, bear with me.
This is Kourosh Mansouri. So he's the son of the founder, Kourosh Mansouri. You know, the famous